Good morning, multipliers. How are you guys today? It's a fantastic day. You're stuck with me again by myself. But guys, today I want to ask a hard question. I want to ask a question that we avoid. We ask the question and we kind of like dance around it and that fearful thing that comes from it and all that stuff. And, I want to ask us this question: why do you believe in God? Why do you believe in Him? Why do you follow God? Why don't you follow God? I want to hear it all. You see, so much of our world today has become piggybacked. What I mean to say that is that media or people in our lives or circumstances dictate what we believe. Which obviously, circumstances dictate a lot of stuff of what we're in front of. But the fact of the matter is we allow ourselves not to really have firm opinions about anything in our lives anymore. What I mean by that is that it's like when I was a little kid. I like Fords. Okay, you might disagree with me. That's fine. My family, my dad's a Ford guy. We have Ford trucks. We've always had Fords. I love the Mustang, all this stuff. So I'm a Ford guy. And I remember when I was in like a sophomore or junior in high school, my youth pastor had asked, I told him one day we were talking about trucks and he was a Chevy guy. I said, I like my Fords. I'll keep my Fords, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, why do you like Fords? And I was like, because, and I didn't have an answer for him specifically why I like Fords. He's like, oh, why do you? I was like, well, I guess my dad likes them, so I just kind of naturally have adopted that. You see that with sports teams where a certain family will like a certain sports team, and then boom, that's your team for the rest of your life, and it carries on. And you have to ask yourself the question. I mean, it's like, why do I like these things? And we're kind of here with our relationships with God too. It's like, why do I follow God? Well, I mean, my family, or maybe why don't you follow God? Well, there's this person who they really hurt me, and I think to myself, like, man, I can't follow a God who, that's the people who serve, and all these things. We allow our circumstances to dictate so much of what we do. Completely. We do. We allow our circumstances to completely fill us up, to consume us, so we don't even have our own personal faith about anything, whatever that is, whether it be atheism, agnosticism, or Christianity, or Buddhism, or Islam. I mean, all these things, we become to be just filled by what people tell us. But why do we believe what we believe? Why do you believe what it is you believe? Like, I mean, I'm a Christian because of what it's been to my life. You see, I'm not a Christian because some book tells me I need to be. I'm not a Christian because some person told me I needed to do it. I'm not a Christian because of any of that. I'm a Christian because God made himself real to me and showed me the flaw of what I need, or what's wrong with who I am. And I knew I needed to go in that direction. And it's been a daily path since then. The Bible is more than just a book. It's a book of God's scriptures that is a real living book that God uses to speak to us. And it's like one of those things to where it's you seek Him, and some people think I've never heard the voice of God. And you know what? I mean, I'm not saying I've heard. I don't just have these conversations with God where we just have like I'm talking to my wife or something. No, but I seek and I listen. And just like it talks about Elijah, that God's a lot of times in the silence and you have to seek Him. But the thing, guys, is that through all those things I get hope. And you might say, okay, you're just seeking to find something in these like little things to make yourself feel better. No, it's not that. You see, I'm not a Christian for fire insurance. of the fear of going to hell, basically. I'm not a Christian because I want to go to heaven. I'm not a Christian just because I think I'm a Christian because I love God. I love Him. He has made Himself the King of my life, the Lord that I want to serve with every last drop, every last ounce of what I have, to completely give myself over to Him. And it doesn't matter all these other feelings, emotions, everything else, guys. It matters that God is in control of my life and I want to give myself to Him. Daily I wake up. I'm sorry, it's really hot in here, so I'm sweating a little bit. Daily I wake up and I choose to serve and love my wife. I choose because I love her. I choose to submit in some senses. I choose to be the leader in other senses. I choose to give to her and to give myself completely to her, to be honest to her, to be faithful to her. I elect to do that because I love her. In the same sense, every morning I wake up, I choose to follow God because of what He's done, because of who He is, and because of what I love about Him. We as Christians, or if you're not a Christian even, our hope is not found in just some myth or some lore or some book. Our hope is found that we have hope. You see, so many of us, we don't have hope anymore. And like a couple months ago, about a month ago, I had to leave my job at where I was, Cricket. It was just a horrible situation. I just had to say, all right, I've got to stop this here. This can't go forward anymore. It's not possible, and we've got to just call it. And so I stepped away, and I was really nervous because I was nervous that I was leaving a job. I mean, Judah at the point didn't have a job either because she was just doing school because I had enough I could financially float us through that time. And we went from that to just our ministry job, which was not enough to pay the bills, and this definitely isn't paying any bills right now either. So I was just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. I was like, okay, what are we going to do? And we were kind of scraping by and surviving. And it was this point of just like fear of like, what am I going to do as I'm trying to find the right job? And then the job I got was like a month before it would start, and so I was like really scared. But you see, the thing was, guys, I wasn't scared because I knew God was in control. Literally, many times you and I would look at one another and would say, I don't know why, but I'm not scared. And she would say, I know, I'm the same way, or vice versa. I don't know why, but I have this faith that we're going to be okay, that this is going to be okay, we're going to be fine. And there was a comfort that came from it that wasn't from something that we were doing. It wasn't from circumstances. It's about being outside of your circumstances and being able to have hope in what you are. So why am I a Christian? Why do I believe what I believe? It's because God has made himself true to me so many times in my life. But I seek him. And I'm willing to do what's not always what I want to do. I'm willing to submit my will to his. Just like with my wife, it's that, we when you become a married couple, the Bible talks about that's two people, two flesh becoming one. It's two people merging into one entity. And the thing is, guys, that's a time, and that's where we have to say that my opinions aren't always most important anymore. It's not just what I want, it's what we want. And we have to work together to come to a common conclusion. And so often we get caught up, and that's why marriages fail, because we get so personally mandated that I want to just dwell, it's what I want. I don't care about what you want anymore. It's what I want. We lose track of each other. That's the same thing with the relationship with God, is that I have to submit and say my will, my desires are no longer most important. And when I come into those situations, sometimes I don't get to do what I want. But you see, there's a wonderful thing. And that's that my wife loves me too. And so whenever I get going and I submit myself to her and I say, Judy, you know what? I know this is what you want to do, so guess what? We're going to do this. I'm going to trust you. We're going to go through and we're going to do it. The same sense, she loves me just as much as I love her. So we submit to one another, and she'll submit right back to me. In the same sense, as I go to God and I seek to give myself to God, and I say, God, I'm all yours. Whatever you do, and he may be calling me to somewhere I don't want to go, something I don't want to do. But God knows me better than I know myself. And he knows what I need to get through that moment. And so I submit myself to him, and he comes in and he makes it exactly what I need, because he loves me too. It's a goal. It's a movement. It's a real life thing. Why do you believe what you believe? Is it real to you? Or is it something you've just accepted because it feels right? Is God or whatever it is, it's something you're passionate about? Is it something that consumes you? Or is it something you've just given yourself to because the best thing you could find? Do we seek God or not? Do you seek joy and happiness in moments, or do you seek just to pass through time? Ask yourself those questions. As a youth pastor, I've seen my youth do that time and time again, where I would say to them, guys, ask me questions. If you have a concern, don't bottle it up. Don't forget about it. Tell me what it is, because if you don't ask me, if you don't seek it, somebody else is going to answer it for you, right or wrong. Doubts are not necessarily an issue. It's that what we do with them. It's like, every time I have questions all the time that pop up. And guess what I do? I seek them out to find the answer. Because if I don't, then either it's going to grow and grow into something more, or someone else is going to give me the wrong answer. I need to go right to the source of what I believe and ask the questions. And so many people today, guys, and this is what I kind of close on. So many people today have faith, have what their matters of faith, what they believe about Christianity or any other thing, just dictated by what they've heard by somebody who knows if they're right. You should never just trust what I say from the Bible. Whenever I read a scripture, you should go there with me, and you should test out yourself. You should try to discern for yourself what you believe, because that way I agree with what you believe and not you agreeing with what I believe. Because your faith should be yours, not mine, not your pastor's, not anybody else's. Don't ever just accept the status quo because of what somebody tells you. If somebody tells you something, test it, seek it. Because it says God's truths, they stand the test of time. Stop just seeking what some guy on YouTube tells you, or what some person on TV, or what some teacher or some person told you in your life about Christianity, about God, about relationships, whatever else. Don't just accept that any longer. Make it your own. Seek it out yourself. And I guarantee you, God's truths will rise to the surface. But you have to seek it out. Because if you don't, you're hopeless. You're following everyone else's. And when that storm comes and you're trying to hold on to someone else's life raft and you don't have one for yourself, those waves can whisk you away. Because you got nothing to hold on to. Make your faith your own, guys. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of this today, guys. I mean, I don't know. It's not really something it was more of the discussion than just a close look at the Bible, but it's more of a Bible-mindedness we're looking at today. And this is we're going to be doing more of this stuff. I like it. I think this is more of a purpose of what we're here for. But I still want to do all the fun stuff too. I don't think that's going anywhere. But we have to ask these hard questions sometimes. So if you like this, hit that like button, thumbs up. Let me know that you like this and you want to see more. And guys, I really appreciate if you want to support our channel, hit that subscribe button. Helps us out. Let us know that you're enjoying what we're doing too. It means a lot. But guys, I think that's it. So I guess, as always, I'm Dan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.